Hey, so this is the notes for the Railway Avenue shot on Railway and Steveston Avenue. Okay, this is the very first night I went out to actually do long exposure shots for intersections, and I was just testing out the camera, and um, I was out there for probably about an hour, and I kept seeing things like ambulances. I was getting really lucky. Ambulances and buses and everything were coming by, so I was getting a lot of good practice doing these long exposure shots in the intersection. And I actually have it behind me here. So this was this shot. I went down the road and I noticed there was a bus stop with the garbage can on the sign, so it's perched up probably about shoulder height, right? And I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna point it down the street, just like that, like down the highway, and we'll get the cars and the cars going by, and they're gonna streak and all this sort of stuff. And I took, I think, like two shots, and right after I took the second shot, I was getting ready, the camera ready for a third shot, and it was perched up, and I accidentally pushed the shutter button. And just when I pushed it, I looked behind me and I said, "Oh crap! Like there's a bus coming. It's gonna ruin the shot, right? Because I'm standing at the bus stop and he comes in and stops because he thinks I'm getting on the bus, right? So I'm standing at the bus stop, like right at the bus stop, and this bus driver pulls up, and the exposure's open, by the way, and I'm like looking at the bus driver, and the bus driver kind of opens the door. He's like, just looking at him, I'm like, no, I'm not getting on. He's like, okay, like, and then he takes off, right? And I'm sitting there like thinking, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave the camera here and see what we get. And once I like, took a look at the photo, I was like, holy crap, like this photo is awesome. So it was a complete accident. Like I just I slipped when I was playing with the settings. I was holding the camera and I just touched the shutter button, and it just so happened that it wasn't moving anyway, like it was already set up and everything. And again, once I clicked it, then that whole thing went down and the bus went by, and then I came out with that photo. It's like going into infinity and beyond. It was wicked, and everything's so in detail. Like when you look into the sidewalk on the side here, you can see all the little pebbles. Like there's tiny little pebbles and rocks that go all the way down the road, and you can see them going all the way like halfway up the picture. It's so detailed. Like if you just get closer and closer, you can see how many there are. Uh, and like the grill or the waste drain and the houses, and you can see right into people's living rooms basically, and the tree and everything just comes out. It just worked out so well. It was such a good fluke fluke shot basically. It was fun though. It was fun. Once I took that photo, I realized what the potential was to do other shots like this. And that's why I like buses, because buses have the lights on the top, they have the lights going down the sides, they have the lights in the middle. They got big open windows with bright lights on the insides, and the orange lights on the front, and then the outlining lights. Like they have so many lights on them that when you take a photo and open the exposure of a bus going by, it just creates this square like that goes through the street, and it was fun. That photo was a lot of fun to make. I just I was so excited after that shot. I had to run home to get it on the computer and copy it because I was so paranoid that like I might delete it. And speaking of which, I was so paranoid that I might delete it that I actually slipped at one point and like clicked the delete button, and it said, "Are you sure you want to delete this photo?" I was like, "Oh shit, I better not touch the cat." So I just turned it off. I was like, "I'm not gonna fuck with it." Oh, it was so funny. And I actually like ran across the street and ran home to get that photo on my computer because yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And anything else happened that night? Not really. That was kind of the highlight of the night there, and yeah, it kind of sparked my interest in the whole photography thing. I mean, this is the first night I've ever gone out and played with a camera on manual settings, playing with the exposure. That was my first night. That was my first night that I ever did that, and I whoops, got this photo that I just love. Like I love looking at it. It's like a time warp. It's cool.